Marines, Ralph, and I was flying in a C-119. We used to call them a flying coffin, and don't say that to the officers, but and I'm flying there, and I have an experience of being outside the airplane looking inside. Isn't that incredible? Looking at myself. That's a cosmic experience. Wow. The unity of all there is. And the other one was, and it brings tears to my eyes, I was, in 1987, I was new to town, and I was at a party at the superintendent of school's office, and there's Stella! And then the other thing, the third thing, looking at my Catholic experience, the one thing I took back with all that is ego amote. Ego amote. Can you say that? Ego amote? Ego amote. I love you. Isn't that cool? Ego amote.
Ego amote.
Ego amote. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's pretty close. We're blessed to be here in this atmosphere of love, and what we do is learn and grow together spiritually, don't we? I think we do. I hope we do. But anyway, and we're ushering in today, we're ushering in the awesome, empowering theme for December. Joanne mentioned the cosmic consciousness, and we also call it the Christ consciousness, and so it's good. Our dear friend Walter Starkey, and as you know, he made his transition 3 months ago. In his book, It's All God, told us that it's probably as difficult to define consciousness as it is to explain God. He said that the word consciousness is so all-inclusive that the way to discover its meaning is through experientially experiencing it rather than intellectually. And we know that the Scripture tells us that in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. See, I didn't goof that one up, did I? That's pretty good. That's a plus. And what Walter said was, it'd be more understandable if the Scripture could have said, in the beginning was consciousness, and consciousness was with God, consciousness is God. Isn't that cool? Let's clap for Walter. He's got a new dimension right now, and looking down, and he's guided me, I think. Are you guiding me? I think he is, yes. Deepak Chopra told us that one way to mitigate our fear of death is to realize that you were never born. And this idea of the God within, the cosmic or Christ consciousness, is that we are eternal beings. And we have no fear of ever dying because we always was and we always will be. And what's so wonderful about that is the fact that when we decide to leave this plane of existence, eventually our bodies are going to wear out a little bit, they're temporal, and we're going to move on to a new dimension. But what's kind of enlightening about all this idea of eternality is the fact that when we go to our next experience in life, after our body wears out, we don't take with us the items of the universe, the content, the things that we spend so much time worrying about, the things that we treasure so much, it all stays behind. The only thing we take with us is our consciousness. So it makes you wonder, why do we spend so much time with the nickel and dime stuff of the universe when the most important thing in our life is what we take with us? And that is the cosmic, the Christ consciousness. It's the love energy that we are. That's what goes with us. So let's stop spending so much time on the other. Another thing we're going to talk about today would be that this consciousness idea is also, and I feel it's a power, and it's the power within ourselves that ignites our creative potential, that ignites our creative faculties to manifest in our life all of our experiences. We need to accept that this idea of consciousness, when we're experiencing, I don't care what it is, it's germinating, it's coming from our own creative power, which is the power of our conscious mind. To create what is. Frederick Bale tells us a little bit about this. He had a little story which is quite interesting. There was a study done by Frederick Bale, mentioned in one of his books. It was by a very large utility company. They had so many accidents by their drivers. It was just incredibly terrible. And regardless of what penalties they put in to these people who are having all these accidents, suspensions, fines, they still continue to have accidents, no matter what. So they decide, let's take all these people, the ones in those national organization, let's put these people who are prone to have accidents, let's put them in an office someplace where they're away from driving, and maybe the accidents will subside. Now, what I'm getting to is consciousness is the driving force of everything that we're doing. So anyway, they take all these people, they put them behind desks and all, and the accidents continued. One guy got his tie caught in a machine. Another person tripped over the carpet, fell and hit his head on a desk, and ended up in the hospital. Another one was dealing with the file cabinets, and the whole file cabinet came down. I mean, the situation was bad, even outside of the idea of driving a truck. So the accidents continued and didn't stop until they brought in Stephen Covey. How many know Stephen Covey came in to look at the situation and brought in, I know, Lynn, you worked with Stephen, didn't you? Yeah, this guy, recognize her.
Yeah.
He's with us now. Stephen Covey. But anyway, they brought in Stephen Covey, and he pointed out to them that they had a consciousness that was accident prone. Their consciousness actually was germinating something within themselves that was bringing into their experience all these accidents. And the accidents didn't stop until they were made aware of this situation. Let me tell you something. Have you ever decided to go to Fresno or any place, and you're going to go to Fresno and you're leaving Oakers, and your mind starts wandering? Oh, what am I going to buy? What am I going to do in Fresno? Will I get my car fixed? Or should I call this? Should I have done that before I left? And your mind is wandering all over the place. And all of a sudden you realize you're halfway to Fresno. I'm halfway to Fresno, but I don't remember going through Corsco. Rachel, how many of that happened? It happens to all of us. And you wonder about who was driving the car. And you know, this idea of consciousness is with us 24/7. It's always there. It's the spirituality that we are. And so we don't have to worry about, I wonder if my heart's beating enough. Should I beat some more? Or, no, it's all we're being taken care of pretty much. But I'm not trying to imply that you should bring a book with you when you're going out of town. Unless you're constantly driving a car. That's not the point. The point is that consciousness is it actually constitutes who we are. It constitutes our beingness. That's what it is. It's that light of the universe itself that's within each of us. It's the spiritual. This is good. I'm so egotistical when I do this. It's good. Consciousness is that spiritual entity that's observing what's happening in the moment. It's right here. It's that spiritual entity that's observing what's going on. It's happening to everyone. You're looking at me, you think I'm nuts. And then it's that spiritual entity that determines how to process what it is witnessing so that it manifests in our life. Isn't that incredible? Mm-hmm. And consciousness, I think, is our use, all of us. We have a crowd. Thank you for being here. It's all of us coming together, but individually using the one mind to experience the dynamics of the human drama. Isn't that absolutely incredible? And then we can individually decide what we're going to do with that when we experience the human drama. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do today? I'm listening to Pizelo. Will I use this stuff when I go out that door? What am I going to do with it today? See, we're making that decision. Yeah, there's a kind of a fun story. A preacher decided to visit one of his constituents. He was a farmer. And the farmer was having problems with his harvest because of the drought. So he's walking up to the farmer, and he's on his porch in a rocking chair. And the farmer yells out to the preacher. He says, "Preacher, I don't think I can handle your, everything is cool today, everything is good today." And the preacher said to the farmer, he said, "You know, these challenging times really challenge our faith, but we need to hang on, we need to hang in there." And the farmer sprang back and said, "What do you mean, hang in there? My crops are all dying. It's 105 degrees here in the shade. And I prayed. I've been praying for the crops for rain, and it's still not raining. I don't know why I even listened to you." He says, "You're not aware of what's going on around here. In fact, you're not in reality. Here you are, 105 degrees in the shade.